All right, Cafe Momentum, where our tagline is Eat, Drink, Save Lives, which is a little bit different from our original tagline, which was we take kids out of jail and teach them to play with knives and fire. Obvious reasons we had to change it. About 5 years ago, I had the good fortune to go out to a Dallas County juvenile detention facility and teach 8 kids to make ice cream. When I walked into that facility, I had a preconceived idea or a stereotype of how these kids would walk, talk, look, and dress, and it's not going. There we go. This is not my fault. I'm staying on time. I was completely wrong. These kids looked me in the eye when they spoke. They said words like sir, please, and thank you. They were eager to learn and even more enthusiastic to do something that they could be proud of most for the very first time in their lives. A couple of days after we made our ice cream, we went down to the Dallas Farmers Market and the kids served their ice cream to guests that ended up voting on who had the best ice cream. And when all was said and done, one of the 8 kids actually won, beating out college culinary students. When he won, he immediately came up to me and he said, "Sir, I love to cook." And I immediately said to him, "Sir, me too." And then he wanted to know which one of his restaurant choices that my personal recommendation was, Wendy's or Chili's, fast food or a little less fast food. I immediately looked at him and said, "Whoever hires you first." At the end, he went back to jail and I went home. And I knew that when he went home, he was going to go back to the same streets, the same neighborhood, the same gangs, the same poverty, the same schools, all of the same issues that had led him on a path to jail. And I didn't find that acceptable. Thus, the idea for Cafe Momentum was born, and it's not going.
There you go.
There it is. Yeah, it is. Yay. So what is Cafe Momentum? Is it a restaurant? Is it a set of post-release programs for adjudicated youth? The answer is yes. Cafe Momentum, and so why a restaurant, actually? Because a restaurant is awesome, because I love restaurants, and because it's a unique opportunity to introduce these kids to these 11 basic social skills. Accepting no, asking permission, looking someone in the eye when you speak to them. See, at Cafe Momentum, we actually built a curriculum, and the kids work their way through 5 stations: washing dishes, cold food, or as the French would say, garde manger, in the kitchen, hot food, or as us Texans would say, entrees, in the kitchen, bussing tables, and then finally, waiting tables. And over the course of those 5 stations, they have a job description in each station that not only lists out the duties and responsibilities of that station, but which one of the social skills and life skills they're learning while they continue to work to that station. And then they're evaluated on their performance, and they're rewarded for excelling at these skills. Now, as parents, do we have parents in the room? As parents, we call that bribing our children to get them to do what we want them to do. At Cafe Momentum, we say we're creating extrinsic motivations that lead to lifelong intrinsic habits. You can steal that. In addition, we have a case management department, and our case management department has compiled resources such as financial literacy classes, anger management classes, parenting classes, all sorts of vital resources needed to effect holistic or wraparound change for these interns. Not only are we proud of our idea, and we think it's going to work beautifully, but we've actually proven it. 3 years ago this month, we launched our very first pop-up dinner, and the idea was simple. We go to one of Dallas's top restaurants every month. The chef writes a 4-course menu, and his or her staff, to execute the plates in the kitchen and serve the food in the dining room, are 8 kids that we bring from jail. This past June 8th, we had our 34th consecutive sold-out pop-up dinner. 92 guests at $100 each. It sold out in 10 seconds. We've served over 3,000 guests, or as we like to call them, donors and mentors. And most importantly, we've worked with 152 young men. Now that brings us to the second answer to the question, why a restaurant? Because a restaurant uniquely brings the issue and the solution directly to the table of the community. Cafe Momentum is more than a restaurant, it's a community center where Dallas's most successful and respected citizens can sit at a table, enjoy a wonderful meal, and just by chatting with their waiter, change the lives of our city's most at-risk youth. It's a home base where a child with no hope, no future, and no opportunity can safely spend his or her days interacting with and looking up to a true role model, almost certainly for the first time in their lives. Now, beyond all of this awesome, wonderful, wonderful life-saving return on investment, there's also a huge financial return on investment. Approximately 3,400 young men and women go into the Dallas County juvenile system every single year. 47%, almost half, will go back within a year. If they go back, they're almost guaranteed to become a career criminal. And I'm not talking about the awesome kind that work on Wall Street, that get movies made about them starring Leonardo DiCaprio. These guys will spend an active life of crime 5 to 15 years, committing 5 to 10 property offenses and 2 to 4 assaults every single year, costing us, the taxpayers, on average, $1.7 to $2.3 million over their criminal lifetime. Now, through our pre-release culinary program and our pop-up dinners, I'm very excited to tell you that Cafe Momentum has already dropped that recidivism rate from 47% to 11%. Thank you. Thank you. I don't have time for you to clap, though. My slides are going to keep going. Now, these outcomes have enormous impact. Arresting, trying, and incarcerating a youth a second time costs all of us, the taxpayers, $125,000. Taking the 152 young men that we've already worked with, Cafe Momentum has saved Dallas taxpayers almost $7 million in 3 years. That's not to mention the $110 million lifetime savings. And, more awesome, as I stand before you today, I'm pleased to tell you all that this fall, Cafe Momentum will open its full-time restaurant live in downtown Dallas. Yes. It's been 3 years plus coming. And instead of working with our kids once a month, we'll get to work with them every single day, which will literally give us tens of thousands of hours of work and program with our youth and allow us to expand our program from the 71 kids we worked with last year to our 2015 target of 270 young men, including the first young ladies from the currently under LETOC facility in Dallas. I did it. Thank you.